What it do, Packer Nation? I'm Camille Davis coming to you on the Pack a Day Podcast YouTube channel after a gross Sunday night football game, y'all. Packers, Dallas Cowboys, Sunday night football in Dallas. It's a tie game, a 40-point tie game for the Green Bay Packers heading down to Dallas. And it was such a weird game. Like, things looked good to start. The Packers scored on their first drive, right? Dallas come out, punt. Packers come out, they punt it. But then Dallas came out, they punted again. And then the Packers scored again. That possession there, that drive that ended the first quarter, kind of started the second quarter. That's when it got weird, right? Dobbs scores again, and you're just sitting here feeling good, like all hands. I see you, Romeo Dobbs. And then, oh my goodness, the point after is blocked. The Cowboys return it for two, which set the stage for just how wild the score was throughout the course of the game. At times where it should be tied, nope, here go the Packers looking at a 3-point deficit. It was such a seeing that get returned after last week against the Browns, where you lose the game because your field goal gets blocked there, and then they go and kick a field goal to win the game, and then you come out in this game and you have a point after attempt blocked. Not good. I understand that the special teams operations is probably taking a little bit of a hit here with all the injuries affecting some of the guys on the roster, is putting different guys in different positions. I hear it. But Rich had all week. Rich Bisaccia had all week. This team had all week. And the results still weren't good enough. They weren't good enough. Special teams was not good enough in this particular game. But even before we get to talk to that, after that point, when the score became 13-2, that's when, again, it got weird. You had two more punts, one for Dallas, one for Green Bay again. And then Dallas scored. Touchdown. Okay, fine. Then the Packers are aggressive, trying to end the half, get some points on the board, going to halftime up. It's 41 seconds left, 80 yards to go. We can get some points out of this. Nope. Strip sack, fumble. The Cowboys get the ball in great field position, one play, touchdown. And then next thing you know, the Packers defense is giving up 14 points in 32 seconds. And now it's 13-16 heading into half when you were just up 13-9. And again, the whole missing that extra point, that math plays in the entire calculus of the rest of this game. So coming into the third quarter, coming out of half, it was a big drive for the Packers, right? For that Packers defense. Packers defense has been so good throughout this season so far. That's where the Packers have hung their hats on. And honestly, even at certain points earlier in the game, when the Packers were deciding to punt the ball, right? It felt like it was more so confidence in the defense, more so than it was like trying to play scared on offense. But then as the game continued going on, that defense that we seen be so vaulted wasn't able to get stops. Seeing the Cowboys put up 40 points while being down CeeDee Lamb and two offensive linemen, shocking. Shocking to me. Did not have that on my bingo card for this game. And again, that track meet started in the third quarter. After the Packers defense gets that big stop to open up the quarter, the Packers come out, they score. It's 2016 Green Bay. From that point forward, it was a track meet. It was a shootout. It was all of the above in Dallas, because here's every possession in the second half. Dallas punt, Packers touchdown, Dallas touchdown, Packers touchdown, Dallas touchdown, Packers touchdown, Dallas touchdown, Packers field goal. Now you're in overtime and you have a field goal and a field goal. And then that is how the game ended. Defense could not stop anything. And that is such a drastic difference in what we've seen from this defense over the first 3 weeks, right? They weren't able to get consistent pass rush in this game against Dak, even with those two offensive linemen out, right? Dak had time, and Dak was dealing with time out here. I will say shout out to Micah Parsons in this game, though, because in overtime, that sack, which Dak didn't really think was a sack, but it ended up being a sack because it was a rush for no yardage, that saved a touchdown for the Packers there. Dallas looked like it was going to be Dak running in to get a quick 7, and now the Packers have to get a touchdown in overtime in order to keep the game going. But instead, Dallas kicks a field goal. Here come the Packers down. Some poor clock management at the end there, and they get a field goal. Just, again, overall, a gross game. It's one of those games where if you're not a fan of either one of those teams, these teams here, you're like, man, what an entertaining Sunday night football game. Wish it didn't end in a tie, but I was thoroughly entertained. On the Packers side, a way more stressful game than expected, given what the Packers defense had been doing. And I give respect to Dallas's offense because they've been churning out some points here. They've been moving the ball, but again, no CD Lamb, down 2 offensive linemen. Didn't expect the operations to look like this against the Packers defense, but lo and behold, they did.
Hey friends, I am so incredibly excited to announce that I'm going to be partnering with my favorite fantasy sports app, Sleeper, all season long here on Pack-A-Day. Now, what I love about this partnership is this has been the fantasy app that I have been using for forever, including with the current Dynasty League that I am in with the likes of Tom Grossi, Dusty Evely, Perry Goldstein, Maggie Loney, etc. And yes, I do have a championship season under my belt in that league, but I digress. If you have not heard of the fantasy app Sleeper yet, you are completely missing out. And I have a little secret for you. It is more than just a platform for your season-long fantasy leagues. It has so much more than that. This past year, millions of users enjoyed playing fantasy sports on Sleeper, but the app offers so much more. Live stats, real-time updates and visualizations on all stats, a news feed. You can get lightning fast updates on your favorite players and your favorite teams, real-time chat, engage with other users about individual plays and performance during the NFL and NBA season. So what are you waiting for? Download the #1 sports app today and experience it for yourself. And oh yeah, use promo code PACKADAY and you get 100% deposit match up to $100 on your very first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
I think the Dallas offense did a really good job in this game of taking advantage of the Packers' strengths. Like, the Packers defense is really fast. So you saw Dallas doing a lot of screens, misdirections, trying to play the Packers' speed against them, and it worked. In addition to that, you had the Packers defense out here missing tackles. And we hadn't seen that from this team, at least at this level so far this season. Now the Packers tie game here on Sunday Night Football, head into the bye with the record of 2-1-1. There is still so much more to break down from this game. There's a lot to break down about this team and where it is now heading into this early bye week. There were injuries in this game. Devontae Wyatt, he went down. He did not return. Josh Jacob injured his knee. He did return at one point, but you didn't see him too much in overtime there. And then you had Hobbs also go out being evaluated for a concussion. So hopefully injuries here aren't super long-term for these guys and they're able to rest up over the bye week. But this is the Packers team that needs to look in the mirror a little bit and tighten some things up, because if this is a team with Super Bowl aspirations, all the conversation that was happening around them after the first 2 weeks, it's time to lock back in. It's time to refocus. Have to play cleaner. The penalties, again, were a problem, but luckily Dallas had a lot of penalties here too for a lot of yards. Got to play cleaner. Got to be more disciplined. Can't miss those tackles on offense. Still got some things to clean up, but put up 40. They put up 40. It's one of those games, man. One of those games where you look back on it and Packers just got things to clean up, even though they dropped 40. Like, that defense wasn't good enough. Special teams wasn't good enough. Still too many pre-snap penalties, in my opinion, here for the Packers. So you head into your bye week with things to work on. You're not in a terrible position right now, but hoped it would be a little bit better than 2-1-1. You know, I was hoping for at least a 3-1 record heading into the bye, but it is what it is at this point. Make sure you keep it locked into the Pack-A-Day podcast YouTube channel and the audio side of things, where we will continue to break down this game and, of course, everything going on with the Green Bay Packers. So, as always, y'all, go Pack, go.